Hello, welcome to Legends of Our Time on GBC News, Ghana Television, and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Gifty AJ. So our guest for today is one of the most famous, most respected, and loved celebrities in Ghana. He is an author, a playwright, and a motivational speaker. As an artistic director and scriptwriter, he's written over 45 plays and directed all of them. And according to the expert, all of these plays have become great masterpieces. I'll take a quick break, and when I come back, I introduce my guest for today. Stay.
That's joking.
Food is ready.
Yes.
Come and have something to eat at
No.
least.
Let's have breakfast.
No, see, this is my food. It's my morning supper, my afternoon supper, and my evening supper.
Jojo, morning is breakfast.
The breakfast is green grass and bread and water. No, here our breakfast is supper size. So it's morning supper, afternoon supper, evening supper. Yeah.
Welcome back. My guest for today is Mr. James Ebu Whyte, or popularly called Uncle Ebu Whyte. Hello, Uncle Ebu.
I heard your introduction and I was wondering whether I'm the right person. I look at your destiny again. I'm sure that you got the name wrong because the things you said, famous,
respected and loved.
No, I think you got the guest wrong.
Oh no, that's you. You are really the guest, Uncle Ebu.
Okay. Don't say I didn't warn you. Viewers, I am Ebu Whyte. I don't know what all the others she said. I am Ebu Whyte.
Uncle Ebu,
yes,
thank you so much for the honor.
Oh, the honor is all mine, and thank you to your producer. She's aggressive.
I know.
The way she chased us and has made this thing happen.
Sure.
I mean, that's an incredible woman.
Yeah, that's
and Aiko too, for the good work she's doing.
Thank you, Uncle Ebu. But let me begin by asking you the Uncle Ebu, because I mean, everybody in Ghana knows you as Uncle Ebu Whyte. And so, I mean, this interview, when I was researching on you, I didn't even know you were called James, because I keep hearing Uncle Ebu Whyte, yes. Uncle Ebu Whyte. So yes. How did you acquire that title?
So there are people who even call me Mr. Uncle Ebu Whyte.
Bra, Uncle Ebu Whyte.
No, Mr. Actually, they had a Mr. Uncle Ebu Whyte. It came together with the name of my company, which is Roverman. They all came as nicknames from Tommy and Unforcing, the ace presenter. One of the great legacies of GBC, yes. Because he was trained by GBC. Yes. But I met him at Joy FM when he was the host of the Super Morning Show. Okay. The name of the program I was presenting on Joy was Rover Report. So I became the Roverman because I was the one bringing the Rover Report, so the Roverman. So that's how come the name came. And he is the one who kept referring to me as Uncle Ebu. And then
today
it's taken on a life of its own.
Sure, that's good to know. And you've actually written and directed over 40 plays.
We produced our 50th play in August.
And
50th in 14 years.
Wow, that's remarkable. So offhand, can you remember all these titles of these?
No, I can remember as many as pressure allows me to remember at any time. but the rest I would have to check. But yes, we've done 50 plays in 14 years.
Congrats.
Because we do 4 plays a year.
Okay.
But for the COVID is the reason why we don't have 56. Because the COVID stopped, all public events were banned. So that took away the 6 that we could have had.
How do you get the storylines I mean, that comes with the titles or the themes?
Life is rich. Life is rich with ideas. So that is one. Life, even this encounter, this program could easily spark something.
Wow.
Yes, it could spark an idea that could lead to a play. Life is very rich in experiences. What I read could also lead to something. But once you have the skill or the talent of a writer, you process things differently.
Okay.
So you and I can experience something. You may walk away and say, oh, okay, it's done. My mind will continue chewing on it. And out of it may come something wonderful. So the gifts of a writer also helps. It gives you a certain mindset. Your mind works in certain ways. That is why there's no writer who is saying, you have to be a crazy person to be creative.
To be creative. Okay. Quickly, let's look at your journey towards this innovation in Ghana. You know, at what point or when did
which one would you refer to as innovation? I
mean, what you are doing, it's not everybody who can do it. I mean, the work of a playwright.
Because the word playwright, the word plays. I grew up at a time when the theater in Ghana was very vibrant. And in those days, the drama studio was where the National Theater is located. And every Thursday to Saturday, you didn't need to see an ad. You could just drive there and there would be one production or the other.
Okay.
On a regular basis until the 31st December coup came. And then all night life was kept for a long time until we went into constitutional regime and then things returned back. So I have been a product of an environment where theater was regular, was vibrant. That is why I wouldn't want to take the title of innovative, because I am just following great people, people like Efwa Sunderland, and co, Amatedu, and others who were there, who I looked up to, and so I am just Wedromedo. It's my turn, but no, I wouldn't call it innovative.
So let's see how you found yourself in the profession. What attracted you into the drama
theater
industry? Yeah,
I got into theater by accident.
Okay.
In secondary school, Form 3.
Which school was it?
Osu Presby.
Okay.
In those days, the final year students of School of Performing Arts were sent out to the schools to produce a play. And so one of them came to our school. He was a final year directing student. So he had come to direct a play with the students as his project work, as part of his project work. Now I was not part of the drama troupe. I was a very timid boy. I kept very much to myself. And so, but I was fascinated with what they were doing.
Okay.
And so I'll go and stand in the window and watch them doing what they are doing, wishing I was in there, but knowing that I didn't have the courage to walk through the door. Now, he had 5 weeks to produce the play. 3 weeks in, he was struggling with the cast that he was working with.
Okay.
They were struggling with their lines, they were struggling with their movements, they were struggling with everything. He was, especially the main character. Then 3 weeks in, he has 2 weeks to go. The production was going badly. Rehearsals were going badly. He's desperate. They come for rehearsals and the main character is not there.
Oh.
But everybody else in the room, because Osu Presby is a day school, so everybody in the room had a role to play at the time. So he could not ask anybody in the room to read any part for them.
Okay.
And he looks round, and in desperation, he sees me in the window and says, hey, you, come in. And even though I was alone in the window, I still looked behind me because I couldn't
didn't believe.
No, that he would call me. I mean, who would ever call me? So I looked behind me. I said, "Why are you looking behind you? You are the only one that come." So I timidly walk in, and then he gives me the script and says,
Wow.
read this for us. I said, okay. So I take the script. 10 minutes later, he stops the play. He stops the rehearsals and asks me, "Have you done this play before?" And I said, "No." He said, "Then how come you know it?" Because you see, the 3 weeks I've been standing in the window, I had memorized the whole play.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't using the script. But not only that, I had memorized the directions he was giving the main character and the guy was struggling with.
Okay. So by the time you got there, you could do it.
I could do it without he having to tell me, move right, move left, use this hand, don't use this other hand. I had memorized those things. Well, long story short, 20 minutes later, when the young man walked in, he had lost the role.
You've got in the role now.
Yes. That is how I got an introduction to theater.
Okay.
And then, this was secondary school, Form 3, Form 5, when I finished GCE O-level. A friend of mine, Enokesi, comes to me and says, "Oh, by the way, you know there's a drama troupe in town. It belongs to Youth for Christ.
Okay.
Since you've been in theater in school, I'm sure you would like that as well. Why not?" So I follow him. We go and to this drama group belonging to Youth for Christ. Later on, we renamed the group J Theater. When I got in there, they were 2 weeks away from a production.
Okay.
So they were rehearsing a play, and they were also 2 weeks away. So new boy, I'll just go and sit down and watch them. The director of the play had done what directors are supposed to do, which is to double cast the roles.
Which means?
Which means 2 people for a role, so that if one person doesn't come up, you can use the other person. So he's done that. Come the day of the production, the 2 people he had casted for the main role decide independently in their homes
That they won't come.
that the director will use the other person.
The other person. Okay. Okay.
So why waste my time? You understand me?
Okay.
If I go Krana, he's going to use the other person.
So let me just stay at
So
home.
let me just stay at home.
And you landed.
And I'm there, and the place was full. This was at NTC Hall at Kolebu. The place was full. It was full because the play was free, and Ghanaians, we love free things. And about 30 minutes later, people start leaving because nothing was happening. Still, we're waiting. And now this is in 1974. So those were the days before mobile phone.
Okay.
We couldn't call and say, "Moe, where here?" Then about 45 minutes later, about half the audience have left.
Wow.
So I go to the director and say, "My brother, if we don't start now, you will lose everybody." He said, "But what can I do? If it was a minor character, I know what we could do. But this is the main character." I said, "Well, let me play it." He said, No. But you have not, you don't know the play. You've never rehearsed it and all that. I said, "But what do you have to lose?" I said, "Let me play it." And then in desperation, because he was very desperate, and because also he could see people moving, he said, "Okay, then go wear the costume and go." I think in his mind, he thought that so that if there's disgrace, we can blame you, you know. You are the one who went there.
Bad character.
Yes. But again, what he didn't know was that I had memorized the play in the 2 weeks that I had been watching them rehearsing. So I go and I play the role. Nobody in the audience would have known that that was the first time I was playing the role. Now, 2 weeks after that, 2 to 3 weeks after that, he calls me and says, "I've been transferred from Accra to Tamale. I need someone to leave the group with. Looking at what you did, how you saved the day, I think you are the best person to take it. So even though you are new, I'm handing the group over to you."
Wow. And so, this was somebody, I mean, was very shy some few months or years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
And today you
play, even now, even today,
lead roles to the
even today,
you're still a shy person.
The gentleman doesn't believe. Anyway, so he says, So overnight, I inherit a standing group of 35 young people.
Wow.
Who needed a particular kind of play, because J Theatre, Youth for Christ, wanted plays that would do evangelism. And there were no plays like that. And that is how I had to start writing to occupy them.
Okay.
Because every Sunday they came for rehearsals. And there had to be a play to rehearse. And that's my journey.
Let's look at the role. I mean, let's pick it from the point where even you gained your self-confidence, you know, by looking at what the industry can do to the individual, society, and I mean, all the stakeholders in there.
Theater, okay, in the first place, there's a certain personality that gets into the creative field. The personality is, you have to be a damaged soul to be creative.
Whoa, that's deep.
Or there's no normal person who is creative. Normal people watch us and they criticize us and say, I go with Jimmy Crowder. Do you understand me? Because they can't imagine themselves doing it. It takes somebody who is damaged at a certain level, in a certain way.
When you say damage, exactly what is it?
It could be your upbringing.
Okay.
It could be the rejection somewhere along the line. It could be that no one gave you attention when you needed attention, especially when you were a child.
Okay.
It could be your personality being an introvert and things like that, because introvert means that you live in your inside you, and so your mind has to occupy you, and so you become a little bit more creative. At least it helps you to develop a perspective to things that is different from what the normal people see it. You can step back from anything and say, what if it is this one? So the point I'm making is that be it a musician, be it a dancer, be it a playwright, be it an actor, there's a common thread in all our lives, and it is this, that we are damaged people.
Oh.
And this is where we get our healing. Do you understand me? So I'm not surprised that when I saw theater, it filled a certain need in me, because as somebody who is an introvert, who struggled with inferiority complex for most of my life, I could feel that this thing will help me. And that is what it does. It gives us a sense of grounding. It gives us a sense of purpose. And it is not just plays. Any creative, even painting, helps heal something in the artist.
So in your case, what was the issue that caused that
inferiority complex? My inferiority complex was born from the fact that I was different in an environment that did not understand difference.
How?
I was born and raised by a feisty fishmonger. My mother was feisty. My mother did not fight women. She fought men and beat them. The whole of Asafo Market, it was known. Antiama fights men and beats them. And then she gives birth, and it is me, timid boy. And she could not understand why she, of all people, would give birth to a timid boy. You know, so, and you know that a lot of our parents, when they want to mold us, they use insults. They use comparison. They compare you with somebody else and things like that. And in doing that, it then destroys you even more. It destroys you now. And it didn't help that my kid brother, the one who comes after me, was the direct opposite of me.
Okay, was like your mother.
Oh yes, he was outgoing. He was fun. He was. I have always struggled with food. He loved food and things like that. So I was a frustration to my mother. He was a joy of my mother. And he was also more intelligent than me in school.
Okay.
So the comparisons, he was better looking and all that. So that's where the roots came from. I don't think that it is a fault of my mother. And it isn't not just my mother. the whole environment. I was raised in a suburb in Kumasi called South Central. And in Kumasi, in those days, they didn't understand timid. We are timid, saying. Say, we are reserved. What do you mean by reserved? We are introvert. And then introvert.
So we need a ding.
So we need a ding. We are bema dear, so we need a ding. Then I say, no, you know, hey, come now, Jimmy, Jaina, only a ding. No, so that the whole environment contributed to that, and so that was the cause of my issues.
And the last part of my question, so what's the benefit of this industry to society?
Oh, it heals you. It doesn't heal you like it transforms you, but at least it makes you feel that I belong, I have a place I belong.
Okay.
You have a sense of belonging. It gives you a sense of purpose. And then it gives you fulfillment. Okay. Something you do that makes you feel good, and you feel that, yeah, at least my life is not useless. I am not as useless as everybody says I am. And so that is what it does. It does for us.
Uncle Ebu, I'm sorry you have to take our first break. When we come back, we'll continue. So you're watching Legends of Our Time on GBC News, Ghana Television, and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
And you, be very careful.
Oh, madam, what should I be careful about? What have I done?
I'll be watching you closely. Oh. But let me catch you. You will see.
Boss, what is madam talking about? What should I be careful about?
Papa, if you, her anointed spokeswoman, does not know what she is talking about, then how should I, her rejected husband, know?
Welcome back. You're still watching Legends of Our Time on GBC News, Ghana Television, and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Gifty AJ, and my guest for today is the popular Uncle Ebu Whyte. Uncle Ebu, let's look at your first play. Do you remember which play?
Yes, I remember with embarrassment.
Tell us the story behind it.
I remember with embarrassment, and if there's, I hope that all those who went to watch it, this was in '74, I hope they are all dead, because it was such a terrible play. Now, with what I know now, do you understand me? With my journey now, I look back at it and said, oh my goodness, I owe those people an apology. So that one, it is so bad now that my mind has actually forced the memory out.
You want to forget about it entirely?
No, I've forgotten about it. I just remember the experience. I now look back and say, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. But the play after that, because what happened is that when I found that I could do this, I then began to educate myself about it. So I registered to be a member of the British Library then, and then read every book they had on theatre. So my next major play was Man Must Live.
Man Must Live, okay.
Which was one of the very early plays that were aired on GBC, GTV. Okay. Then, so I would date my writing from that.
From the second play.
Yes. That other '74 one,
Missing in Action.
Yeah, a new record or so.
Now let's look at the practicality of what you do as a playwright.
Yes.
I mean, how do you birth your stories?
I think each play is different. Each play is a different assignment. The creative process cannot be predicted. Especially how the play comes to you, where it comes to you, whether it goes quickly or it struggles. Those you don't control. You don't control a lot of things about the creative process.
So how long can it take you for you to put a play together?
I've
What
written
are
a
the
play
various
in 12
processes?
hours before.
Okay.
I've also written a play in 7 years before.
Ah, which play was that?
Devil's Wife was written in 24 hours.
Okay.
A play like even the last one I did, he said, she said, took about 5 years to write.
Why? Why that long?
I want to know the answer to. I wish I could know the answer to. But that's a creative process.
That's creative.
There are stories that are easy, that tell themselves. You get to a certain point as a writer where you are only a channel. You are a channel through whom these stories come into existence.
Okay.
And the stories determine how fast they want to reveal themselves and whether at a certain point, because you could write up to a certain point and the story can vanish. So you could have a certain number of pages and you have no idea how to continue from there on.
Wow. But do you have to be in a certain mood before you can put a piece together? What are the processes?
No, not me.
So where do you write? Do you write from your home? You travel somewhere to do it? I mean, how do you do
in the early days, I used to travel. So I would wait and take my annual leave and travel out. But now, I don't have the luxury to do that. And in fact, when I'm married, that I have to find other ways of writing because you can't get up every 6 months and tell your wife that, my dear, Adiana can hunt, send me to quiet. No, so you couldn't do that. So I have learned to write whenever I'm able to. So if I'm waiting for somebody, if I have an appointment with somebody and I'm waiting for the time for the meeting, I could occupy myself. So I used to carry a notebook or every time, everywhere I go. These days I carry an iPad.
Okay.
And so I put ideas down, I occupy myself. So it depends, anywhere. It helps when there are no people around or they are not bothering you or they are ignoring you.
Peace of mind.
Yes, it helps. But now, because I have to produce a play every quarter, I can't demand the ideal environment. So I have to make do with whatever environment I find myself in. And the work must be done, so it has to be done.
Of your 50 productions, which one would you describe as your most, this is my ish, and which was the most challenging play you've ever done?
Okay. My favorite.
Yes.
My favorite will be my 51st play.
51st.
Yeah.
That's the one coming?
Yes.
Okay.
That one is my favorite. And you love it. No, I haven't written it yet. I don't know it.
And it's your favorite already?
It's my favorite already. But I do not know it, but I know it will be wonderful and you will love it. The reason is this. I have to write a play every quarter. I can't afford to fall in love with anything I have done.
Okay.
Because if I fell in love with it, I can't move on. Do you understand me? So you'll be nursing that one. So if you do a lousy job and somebody says, oh, Uncle, play with the and yeah. Oh, then you should have come to see my 20th play. Oh, that one day, it was wonderful. Waka.
Okay.
So I don't give myself the chance to remain stuck there. Which of them was my most challenging? No, I don't regard it as a challenge. Every one of them is a growing experience, a learning experience for me. And I take delight in the hard work of making it work, of turning it around. And so, no, they've all been fun.
Let's look at the industry today. Is this something worth, having people invest their resources in the area?
Of course it is. Ghanaians have issues with theater because of the long break. So there's a whole generation who never watched a play. My generation, we watched plays. Okay. But there's a generation that was born. So you could imagine that the revolution was in 81. Okay, so anyone born around 77 will be about 3-4 years at the time of the revolution. We returned to constitutional rule in 92. So anyone who was born around 76 up to anyone who was born in even 92 had never seen a play
Before.
Now, so then he starts school and things like that. If he doesn't go to the kind of school where they make the children do all kinds of a few things, then he would grow without that. So he hasn't acquired the taste. And we have a lot of people like that, getting them to acquire the taste. So there are people who will not even come to the theater. If you invite them, play. Oh, remember.
So how can we change the narrative then?
Well, one person at a time. Patience. When you are changing some of these things, you've got to learn to be patient. So it takes time. Changing attitudes in any context takes time. One person at a time. So somebody comes to watch the show, goes to bring another person, goes to talk about it. So, play the home, but what's in there? Fine, okay. It takes time, and that is one of the things that I wish we could tell people about, that changing any nation, changing attitudes in any setting takes a lot of time. And especially in a nation like Ghana. Ghana is a very young country. Compared with, I followed the death of the Queen, watched the funeral. And they will tell you this building has been there for 3,000 years.
Wow.
Which building in Ghana can you say, this building has been here for 1,000 years? The one we come closest to are the castles, but they are not even 1,000 years, And then Ghana as a nation, how old are we? I am older than Ghana because I was born in 54.
Okay.
Ghana was born in 57. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And as nations go, that's a very young nation. And so a lot of traditions need to be built now. A lot of lifestyles need to be developed now. And those of us who find ourselves in certain positions must understand that our role is really laying the groundwork. We may not reap the benefits. Okay. A later generation would come to reap from the hard work we have put in. But if we don't also lay the groundwork, if we don't put in the sacrifice, it will take a long time for anyone to benefit from this. So we struggle to get people to watch our shows.
Okay.
But precisely because we are struggling and still persistent, the generation after me will find it much easier. Do you understand me? So that I can see the theater producers after me becoming millionaires, all because of the hard work and the struggle that I am putting in now. And that is why I don't give up. That is why I'm committed. And that is why I encourage anyone in any field who think that may bregu, no umbrengu. On the back of your breath is the future prosperity of the generation after you.
As it stands now, it's not really worth the effort.
It has not become financially as rewarding as it could be.
Okay.
But it's rewarding in other ways. It's rewarding to see the smile on people's face after a show as they come to say thank you for this. It's rewarding to hear some of the stories of the impact of our shows on them, on their marriages.
A case with us. Do you want to share a case like that with us?
Well, of course. The one that I love to tell when I'm talking about these things is a case of the Frenchman called Antoine, who had been in Ghana for 2 years and had not brought the wife with him because he said the wife was difficult. Then his staff comes to watch Unhappy Wives, Confused Husbands.
Okay.
And then they go and tell him, you must watch this play. So he comes to watch it. And he thinks, I can see my wife on stage.
He can relate.
Yes. And then he said, when he saw the reactions of the people in the audience, he felt, then my wife is not strange. Because they are all laughing. So it means they can all identify. So he flies back to Paris.
Wow.
And brings his wife within the week so they could come and watch together for the weekend. And the wife gets the wife to stay in. That's right in the early days. Now, one of the plays we did earlier this year, Devil's Wife. Devil's Wife, we had a case where a young man who said he does not have the ability to laugh. I didn't know there was a condition like that. He can smile.
A medical condition?
Yes, he can't laugh.
Okay.
So he had, before the show, he had gone to the doctors for medication, and the doctors had told him they would have to take him through a certain medical procedure.
Okay, therapy. To
give him, no, actually, an operation. To, increase his chances of being able to laugh.
And we laugh freely.
Yeah, we laugh free, and we don't know how blessed we are. So he comes to watch the show, and he said, 15 minutes in, he heard himself laughing.
You've cured him.
He's cured himself. So those are some of the marriages that have been brought back together, because our family, our relationship, our plays are strong on relationships. So you will learn a thing or two. So
this is a profession I'm sure you'd want to pursue for the rest of your life. Any idea of?
Gifty, you're talking to a 68-year-old man. I think maybe pursue the baby. Yes, I mean.
But in life, I mean, be possible.
Yes. So, we'll probably say thank you. Your mama be here with a clock on retirement.
With a hotel clock. Thank you.
Yes. To say, go home and see how quickly your time went away, your life went away.
If you're lucky, a fridge.
Yeah. If you're lucky, a fridge. Yes. So yes, this is something I feel called to it, and I am very happy for the privilege of doing it.
Now let's look at another aspect of what you do. You are a motivational speaker or writer, and most of your writings are on love. What is it about love that you have identified that you keep, hammering to the rest of the society?
We go to school to learn everything. There isn't anybody here who is doing what they are doing who did not go to school to learn to do it. We go to learn to cook.
Yes.
We learn how to drive. We go to school to learn how to sew. Everything. But when it comes to the one area that defines us, the one area that determines whether we are happy or not in life, relationships, love relationships, there's no school. Our society assumes that, gifty. Now gifty, full stop.
That could be true.
Nobody is even interested in asking Gifty what's going on, what's happening, and things like that. Or no, you're not worried. Now, then when you marry, then comes the next one. So a lot of relationships break, not because there's no love, but because we didn't understand. The couple did not understand each other, and did not have a realistic expectation of what it means to be in love.
What is it to be in love, Uncle Ebu, from your experience?
From my experience, being in love is one of the most selfish things we all do. And we get that one wrong. Because you see, Gifty, I don't love you for you. I love you for me.
Wow.
I love you because of the happiness I think you can bring me. You also, at the same time, are also looking at what can I bring you So you then also say, I love you. But what you're actually saying is that there's something you do for me. There is a way you make me feel that I like. And so I love you. Now the exchange then comes in. The transaction then is that, Gifty, I am going to try to make you happy so you can continue meeting those things that I expect from you. You also have the same thing. That is when love relationships work, when we understand that. When we understand that Gifty loves me because I am there for her, I pay her attention. She can come home, no matter how difficult the day has been, she knows Ebo will be there for me. We'll talk about this. He will give me comfort. He will give me the strength to go on. So the next day, I can go back to the office and face life again. This is why she loves me. Do you understand me? Then she comes home. And then comes and says, Ebo, listen, you won't believe what happened. Hey, Ra, am busy?
I'm tired.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then you are breaking that unwritten contract Gifty has with you.
Yeah.
That is why I say, and it is one of the things that nobody teaches, that love is a selfish thing. I love you for me, not for you. And in exchange, because I love myself, and I want you to continue doing for me what I expect from you, I will also make you happy. So you don't go away, so you would also continue. It's a very selfish thing.
Okay.
Many of us don't understand that, and we think that, oh, he lost me for who I am.
So, okay. My uncle, another break when we come back.
Okay.
We'll continue. Okay, so we'll take a quick break. Stay.
I've blown it before. I've not blown it again.
It's I blew.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you. I've blew it before. I've not blew it again.
No, my dear. I blew it before. I will not blow it again.
It's wrong.
Why is it wrong?
It's wrong.
Am I wrong?
You have teach me. You say my friend will be his friend. Same thing here. Same thing here. Then you have said my wealth will be his wealth. Same thing here. Same thing here. So if I have blew the first one, then I must do the second one. Same thing here. Same thing here.
How am I not correct?
Thanks so much for watching GBC News, Ghana Television, and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Gifty Eje, and my guest for today is Uncle Whyte. Uncle, I know you have written 2 books.
3 books, actually.
So far.
2 novels and a book on sex. Let's talk about sex. Is a book on sex. And then the other books, The Deal, and then The Perfect Couple.
Your topics are controversial, especially the last one.
Which one?
The sex one.
It's only in Ghana that sex can be controversial. Only in Ghana that sex will be controversial. It is so controversial. We are uncomfortable with it because of our upbringing. I'll tell you something. We are very strange when it comes to love because we don't express it. And we frown on anyone who would express love.
So you have to express it.
Then what's the point of having it? You know that, look, oh dear, how often do you see a man and his wife hold hands? Or put their hands around each other? The woman may hold him and he's, that kind of thing. And that is us. I don't think it is helpful. It's behind, there isn't any woman listening to us who wouldn't want the husband to be a little bit more expressive
Okay.
and give her a little bit more attention. But it doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen because not because your husband is not a good man. He's not been socialized that way. But it is not even just the men who have not been socialized that way. There are women too who won't allow their husbands to hug them in public. So what's
the right way to go?
I think we must understand, we must be real. We must be real. We must stop pretending. We must start admitting that as human beings, certain things are normal with us. And not pretend that, no, yeah, yes, I do it. So let's talk about sex.
Quickly, let's look at your background. Where was Uncle Ibu born, parents,
Kumasi.
Siblings, and
No, Kumasi.
childhood memories, if you have to share with us.
Kumasi, I was born in Kumasi. So
But Whyte and Kumasi, why should be going to Cape Coast? You know,
yes,
your surname, Whyte.
Yes, yeah, but it's Ghana.
Okay.
Ghanaians move around. There's a very strong Fanti community in Kumasi.
Okay.
Very, very strong, because and especially from Elmina. I come from Elmina.
Edina.
Yes, the Edina people and the Asanteman had a pact. They are allies, and so my mother, for instance, had a stool in Menchia.
Okay.
As the queen of the Fanti of the Elmina Ednes in Kumasi.
Okay.
Because of that relationship that they had during the days when we were fighting each other and things like that. So there's that relationship there. I was born, did my primary and middle schools in Kumasi, came to Accra for secondary. After O-levels, worked for 6 years with Senate before going to the university to read statistics.
Statistics and theater, what's the correlation?
If you look at the university handbook, they will tell you that the courses you do there are not meant to give you a profession, but to widen your horizon and to enhance your analytical abilities. So that is what it is. But I'm very comfortable with figures because I also wrote the exams of the Institute of Chartered Accountants on my own.
Okay.
But this is my calling. This is my gifting. I believe that all those paths I have taken have helped broaden my horizon as a creative person. And so I could write on any topic. I could portray any character because I have seen it. I've been in that field before. And so my wide background has been very useful for me.
For what you do today?
Yes.
Okay. And then childhood memories you would want to... Of course, you talked about
when you are a timid person, all you do is to watch people, other people. You wish you could join them, but you know you are too timid to join them. So I remember that very much. But one of the things that I can share is that I grew up in an environment where I never saw anybody celebrate birthday.
Okay.
And so I didn't know my birthday. And I didn't know it mattered. I didn't know it mattered. I think I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
All I know is that I am here. Do you understand me? So I didn't know my birthday. Then one day, I dreamt that 3 men were walking me home from school. And when we got to the gate, and in the dream, it felt like these are angelic beings like the Mount of Transfiguration in my dream. Even though I was still a young boy, I had been introduced to Christianity, so I knew the Bible, I knew some of this, but I could feel. I knew, you know, in dreams, you know things that you don't know how you know, but you know that these are angelic beings with me. Then when we got to the gate, they stopped and said, "Kobina, happy birthday." Wow. And then I woke up. and ran into my mother's room and said, "Ma, can I have my baptismal certificate?" That was the first time I looked at my birthday, and it was my birthday.
Wow.
20th of July.
Wow.
So I said to her, "Mom, today is my birthday." So, why would I? On the day,
No cake at all.
Cake. Papa. Who ambition? Yeah, those were the days when we ate chicken once a day, once a year.
Christmas.
There's some people eat chicken by heart. That's why they don't respect. No, cake, share. Hooray. Share. Those are the days my mom can buy a tin of Milo and it can last for 6 months because you this year. Yeah, no, by heart. I mean, I don't know what yaria. So, yeah, or see beer. So
important.
Important you be or what they are 7 na ye na se so corner table na then you quickly. No, you're home fine. I saw the thing I could share baby there.
I say I could be 6 months time.
6 months time.
So okay.
So that's a child. I remember that very well.
Looking at your background, your childhood that you've just explained, did it ever occur to you that someday you'll get to where you are?
No,
now?
I think I feel grateful to God. I feel a sense of gratitude and humility that somebody like me, who was written off by even his own mother, could amount to this, could have anything that would make GBC pick a car and come to my office to record me.
So aside the hard work, perseverance,
yes,
and the God factor,
yeah, faith in God, yes.
Yeah, which other principles actually helped
Honesty.
you to get to this stage?
Integrity, honesty.
Okay.
Because people don't know that integrity is capital. It's as money in business. Do you understand me? There are people who run businesses and people give them credit. And then they think they are smart, so they don't fulfill their obligations. Then the credit cuts. And then they struggle now. And then there are those who say, give me the goods, I'll sell and come and pay. They sell, come and pay, they get more. Before you realize, they built a capital of their own and they are growing. That's why I say honesty, integrity,
And the God factor.
they are capital.
Okay. Let's quickly talk about your beautiful wife. I know you've been married for some time.
Florence,
and
I call
she's
her
been
Bishop.
very supportive of what you do.
My wife is called Florence. She's a combination of Ekuapim and Ghana.
Okay.
We've been married since 1983.
Oh.
So this is 39 years of marriage. The success of our marriage and the longevity of our marriage is due to her patience.
Okay.
I do not know what she did against God for God to give her somebody like me.
Trouble.
Yeah, because I'm a difficult person to live with. Difficult because of the nature of my calling, where even if I'm sitting down, I'm working.
Okay.
Do you understand me? Whereas other husbands would have to be doing some activity for you to know, oh, why are you busy? So with me, you may see me sitting down and you think, oh, why?
But the brain is working.
Yes. So it takes a lot to live with a creative person. We have many admirers, but the people who admire us have no idea what it takes to live with us.
Yeah.
Because of the demand of it and the pressure that the talent, the gift itself could impose on you. So that is who she is. She's a caterer. And she has time for my foolishness.
Uncle Ebo, let's look at young people who have the passion, who have the initiative to do the kind of work that you are doing. What advice will you give them?
Let me talk to the young people, not just for theater, not just those who want to be in theater, but for passion for anything. The first thing is that pay your dues. Pay your dues. That means that Don't start overnight and say you want to be master. Serve somebody. Look for somebody in whatever field you want to get into, and go and put yourself at that person's service. Pay your dues. You will learn a thing or two. It will help you. It will help you to take off faster and be more stable when you do take off. Okay. Taking off is easy, but being stable and not crashing, not crash landing, is the key thing. And so you just go look for somebody in that field and just put yourself at that person's disposal. Don't look at the money. Don't look at money. How much are you going to pay me? No. Just go make yourself an apprentice, quote unquote, and learn, even if it is for free. The second thing is that learn all you can learn. If there's a school available for that, go. In my case, I read every book on theater at this British Library, the British Council Library. I also watched every production in Ghana from the 70s. Okay. Every production. Even when I wasn't at Legon, I was traveling to Legon to watch productions at the School of Performing Arts. So educate yourself, because talent is not enough. You've got to add knowledge to whatever talent you have, so you can take it to the next level. And the third thing is never give up. Don't be resilient, because life is not easy. Making anything work is not easy. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes persistence. It takes time. So be resilient. Don't give up. It may not work overnight. My attempt into commercial theater, the first 3 attempts failed. The first time, I borrowed money that took me 2 years to pay because I ran a debt. The second one, I sold the car I was using, a white Octavia, Skoda Octavia.
To invest in your production.
To invest in the production, and the car did not come back.
And you lost the money also.
So it is the third production that broke even.
Okay.
So don't come into this expecting overnight success. Those who are overnight successes often do not last. Easy come,
easy go.
Easy go.
Who is Uncle Whyte, and how does he want to be remembered?
What I engage my energies in is how to honor God today, now that He has given me another chance of life. Too many of us have a certain entitlement mentality. We think we'll live. We don't realize it. And then today that you woke up, it's a gift.
This is true.
Make the most of today. And that is all Uncle Whyte is, that Meniate Adiachi, what can we do today? How can I serve my generation today? How can I make somebody's life easy today? How can I put a smile, even if it is just to say, oh, hi, you're looking good. How can I put a smile on somebody's face today? Not. Many of us are waiting. We are waiting. May foundation be to help people. No. And
what you can do.
Because who told you, say, Ochna is yours?
Thank you so much, Uncle Ivo.
You're welcome.
So the program has been Legends of Our Time on GBC News, Ghana Television, and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My guest for today has been Uncle Ivo Whyte. My name is Gifty AJ. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.